Today, I will remove this power outlet cover plate that contains a built-in nightlight. The reason why is, as you can see, when I turn off the light and cover the light sensor, the light is barely on and does not seem to work. So I'll remove this plate. Because this plate is bigger than a normal wall plate, it's just very slightly bigger. I also have this slightly larger cover plate in case that's needed. First, I will plug this power outlet tester in, and I will turn off the circuit breaker. I will turn off the breaker. That was the correct circuit breaker as the lights are off. Just to double check, I will use a multimeter, which is reading 0.5 volts AC, which is normal for capacitive coupling or leakage current, and is fine. I'll remove the screw and then pull this off. Now, this is the interesting part. The plate makes its electrical connection with the power outlet via these two copper pieces that press against the two sides of the outlet with the screws. Maybe these are just misaligned. Try to bend this to give it a little more pressure and put this back over the side of the power outlet. I'm not putting in the screw, but I'll turn this off and turn on the breaker. That fix it. Oh, flickering. Now, if I just carefully, without shorting it, it seems that the LED assembly itself is malfunctioning. I'll turn off the breaker again. I guess that confirms what I thought. It's not a bad contact, but it is a bad LED. Now this is just as simple as putting a cover plate on and putting the screw back on the cover plate. There we go. I will make a separate video about taking apart this cover plate with a built-in nightlight to see what is inside, but there's still one more thing to do with this circuit before I turn back on the power for good. Because this is a basement circuit, it has to be GFCI protected, so I'll find the first outlet in the circuit and replace it with the GFCI. For some reason, I think this is the first outlet on the circuit, given that it is fairly close to the panel. This one is on the same breaker. Let's try and be careful to not destroy the wall completely. It seems to have been painted on, unfortunately. There we go. Let's pull this out. And as usual, the builder uses the push connectors on the back of the power outlet. Let's remove these. There we go. There. So popped out. Now I will cover them with connectors for insulation and safety. So because both the hot wires are covered, all the outlets on the circuit should not get power when I turn back on the breaker. Now let's turn back on that breaker. This outlet's on a different circuit, so it's not affected. Let's try this one. It's dead. This one should be dead. Yep. This one, dead. The one I just removed the nightlight from, dead. This one, dead. This one, dead. And this one, dead. And to make sure that the tester is actually working, I can plug it into this, which has power, and it lights up. It also is important to know which wire comes from the circuit breakers and which feeds the outlets. This can be done with a non-contact voltage tester. This one does not trigger the tester, so this is the load, which goes to all the other outlets. This one does trigger the tester, so it is the line side from the panel. So I will mark it with some tape. This is important because the line and load side on the GFCI does matter. And then, once again, the breaker must be turned off. And then none of these have power, so we're good. Now, for the GFCI, both the hot and neutral must be connected through it on the appropriate line and load terminals. So let's find which cable belongs to the load. This top cable seems to be the load because that's what I did not mark. And this bottom cable is the line because that's what I marked. Now the ground can be connected to the green grounding terminal. Now the load wires, this label for how long the wire should be stripped, which this one matches. And the neutral from this one. Now the line side. Let's try and organize this a bit. Push the grounding wire back, making sure that nothing is shorting to anything. And you just push this to make it straight. Like that. Now we carefully look to make sure nothing is touching, shorting anything. Does not look to be. So we're good. Now the new rectangular cover plate can be installed. And the new plate includes these shorter screws. Make sure I don't put so much force I'll break this. Looks good. Now, time to turn on the breaker. The red light is on. Let's reset it and check. Did we screw it up? Nope. 2 lights, so it's correct. Let's trip it. Works. More importantly, has power been restored to the rest of the basement? Yes. Let's try this one. Yep, 2 lights. Yep. This one. Yep, this one, and this one. Oh, what happened? I tripped it pulling it out of there. There's something plugged into here that's shorting it out. Let's try turning this back on. Oh boy. Is my tester broken? Something's wrong with this. It gives power and then cuts it off. Turn back off the circuit breaker. Did I get the line versus load wrong? I don't think I did. Let's take this apart. Nothing is shorted. It's nothing crossed over. It's got warm. It is defective. Oh. That sticks. I got a bad unit possibly. I'm gonna remove the load side. Now the load side is completely disconnected. Now for sketchiness, I'm gonna plug in my tester first. If it trips with the tester in, then we know it's the tester. Nothing is shorting to anything. So let's turn it on. Now for the part I don't like, which is having to reset it. Oh boy. The lights are on. Let's give it a minute like this. Well, I guess let's measure resistance to ground to see if it's like directly shorted. Have my multimeter on the ohms range. I'll connect one probe of it using an alligator clip to ground. And I'll connect the other probe of it using another alligator clip to the hot side. If I disconnect the hot wire and put one clip on here, then connect to the grounded metal strap of the GFCI, we have an open circuit. So it's not directly shorted. What about neutral? Ground. Oh, 2.6. What? Now that's why it instant trips. Neutral and ground aren't supposed to be shorted. The only place where the neutral and ground should be connected together is at the first point of disconnect, which is usually the main circuit breaker, which in this case is also in the meter box. So the neutral and ground are connected together right here in the meter box in our specific electrical installation. Because if I measure from the line to ground, shows 2.5, 2.6 ohms. Measure from this one to ground, 2.9, 3 ohms? Huh. Well, I've got my multimeter on continuity tone mode, so I'm going to connect one side to the neutral wire, one side to here. It was beeping before. I discovered after banging on this outlet. This is loose. Huh. Something's wrong with this. Let's take this one apart. We have no voltage, so we're good. Really? The ground is so close to that screw. That's definitely what was shorting. The stupidity is getting old. Yep, the ground wire was touching the outlet. I guess that's an easy fix. I'm gonna fix the push connectors as well. I guess that's what you get when the builder does it just as quickly as they can get without regards to anything else. As this part is just the installation of a normal power outlet, I have sped it up quite a lot. Here I just connect the hot, neutral, and ground wires to the outlet using the screw terminals, making sure the ground wire does not touch any screw terminal so that it doesn't short out like what happened before. Let's put the cover back on. Now, it shouldn't be shorting ground to neutral, so I hope that makes it not trip. Let's try. Well, now that I fixed that, let's put this back together. Let's make sure the neutral does not touch ground on this one. There we go. Looks good. How about this? Now, will it insta-trip? No. It's holding. The test works, but does get stuck. That holds, so I think it's good. Let's try here. We're good. This one. This one. This one. That one is good. This is good. Now it doesn't trip. And this one is good. Now if I trip it, it trips. And come back over here. If I reset it, power comes back. We're good now. A week after installing this GFCI and fixing the ground wire touching the neutral in that one outlet that caused it to instantly trip, it hasn't tripped a single time in this week, so it seems the installation is working, also by its ability to run the light without tripping. Anyways, make sure to subscribe for more videos.